Doreen, thanks for joining us for part 2. Let's jump back in. In part 1, we discussed the importance of practicing to develop our skill, setting a practice time, gathering our tools, valuing our time, and asking, how does it feel? 1 to 10. It's important that you watch part 1 first, the prep. So we all start with a strong foundation in the basics. Now let's get moving on to the strategies. When I was first interested in music, I loved to pick out the notes that I heard from favorite songs. I was pretty good at guessing them by ear. Now there are lots of ways to learn, but they may only get you so far. You can sort of figure things out online, but it's only part of the picture. It doesn't give you all the information, as you will see coming up. You could just copy what you hear someone play, but that's only using your ears. That's not with the help of all of you. Having someone read to you is great when you can't read yet, and you could probably recite it from listening to it so much. But when you can read it for yourself, it's so liberating and empowering. You have the exact account. You don't want to just get close. Reading music will help you be exact. You will have an edge. Because sorta, kinda having the answers doesn't feel good. It's not at your best. You will gain the most from reading. Having the exact answers will boost your confidence. Here come the easy reading procedures to bring on the joy. If you are a very new beginner or haven't seen your instrument in a while, just start with reading the basic rhythms. Beginners first read the beats. Clap the beat to feel it. Clapping works every time. For some amazing reason, when you can feel it, you can play it. Next, when you learn where the music alphabet letters are on your instrument, then put that clapping beat feeling on your instrument, reading and playing the letters that go with those beats. You can count out loud at face value, 1, 1, 1, 2, or progress to counting consecutively, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where pre-staff beginning readers will be for a short time. When you progress to reading notes on a staff, a whole world of music opens up. The staff notes will tell you the letter and the amount of beats it gets. When you think about it, simply put, pianists have to eventually read only about 29 staff letters, representing the white keys on the piano from here to here. Imagine learning a new foreign language quickly with just 29 words. After that, we can read and play the very high or very low notes with an 8 VA or 15 VA signal. For the black keys, we just add sharps or flats to the existing notes on the staff. It's pretty cool that each instrument's range of staff notes can be represented on a full keyboard. So the sooner you learn your instrument's range of staff notes, the easier it is. Use flashcards and apps for speed. You know, in advertising, the more a name flashes in front of you, the more likely you will remember it. That's why flashcards work so well. That's the point of reading lots of short pieces in your books to constantly imprint where the letter is on the staff. Please don't lose steam and fall short by skipping the book reading or by just memorizing the sound as a shortcut. Your eye needs to see the flashing impressions. Our theory lesson episode 3 in Italy will help with treble staff. Our theory lesson episode 4 in the Alps will help with bass staff letters. Once you are on staff, remember to clap the rhythm so you can feel it before you play it. And then read and play the letter names with their rhythms. This is where we are going to help you read ahead. If you need more reinforcement counting note and rest values, theory episode number 5 in the German bakery can help. After you have progressed a bit, a great practicing tool is a metronome. It will help you keep a steady heartbeat. There are many kinds, but the metronomes with a pendulum will help you feel and see the space between beat 1 to beat 2. Watch it to feel the movement first before you jump into play, like watching the rope first before you jump in to play jump rope. The trick is to patiently just start real slow. I sound great at the start 40 mark, and very gradually build your speed and confidence. Using a metronome will not only confirm your strong parts, but it'll show you weak spots so you can give them more attention. You will be able to hear and see your accomplishments as you move the dial down on the pendulum. We love feel-good practice sessions. Importantly, each time you repeatedly play it, ask yourself, how does it feel? And keep repeating it until it feels great. Remember, focus and repetition equals growth. So you are reading music. As a very new beginner, your piece may just be a short exercise in reinforcing new notes or rhythms. Everything is in steps, and each step leads to an even more exciting adventure. So I'm going to assume you feel pretty good with the basic counts and basic notes on most of the staff. Well, smooth enough so that you're not constantly break tapping while reading your notes. Okay, if you're ready for the next step, we will show you more helpful clues on the page. I've been analyzing music for a long time, but I approach every piece as if it is a new, exciting adventure, a fun game. For me, the clues just pop out. They will for you too. Consider this approach. Grab your pencil. I love this. We are on the lookout for patterns and clues. I always scan the music first to make it easier to learn my own pieces. This will help you in learning yours. Whoa! I know when you first look at a piece, it can be a bit overwhelming. Just like we can be taken with an artist's entire finished product, it's a wow. But we are going to back it up to when it was only a sketch. Composers work the same way. Here's one of Mozart's sketches as he was gathering his musical ideas. Let's trace back to Beethoven's steps in Ode to Joy. I like to start with the form. It's the order of the parts, the outlining sketch. This starts with a melody. Do you see the right hand melody notes of this beginning measure anywhere else? Yes, the entire line is actually copy pasted 3 times. We're going to call these lines the A parts, like a verse in pop music. The endings are slightly different. If you saw that, you have good eyes. The endings on lines 2 and 4 are the same. The third line is completely different. We will call it the B part, like the chorus in pop music. So the form is A, A, B, A. We really only have 2 lines to learn, the A and the B part. It's looking better already. For intermediate students, what's the form in Beethoven's For Elise? Well, since the melody is in the treble clef, we covered up the left-hand bass clef so the melody is easier to find. Unless there is an introduction, we always start with the A part, and we found 2 of them. This section in the middle is different, so we will call it the B part, and it starts on a B note. I love when that happens. So the form, so far, is A, B, A, but when you factor in the repeat signs, it's more like A, A, B, A, B, A. And this is just the main theme. Beethoven's love theme to Elise goes on for many pages, including a C, D, E, F, and G part. In pop music, it might be an intro, a verse or two is the A part, a chorus B part, then bridge C part, maybe another verse and chorus, any combination. Every piece is different. First thing, mark the form to know how big of a piece it is. It's part of the composer's sketch. Everyone of every instrument should be aware of intervals of seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, sevenths, and octaves. We dedicated theory episode number 17 to exploring all about intervals. Beginners may just start with steps, seconds, and skips, thirds. Pianists, if you see a pattern of intervals, that's a good place to start. Play that left-hand pattern first. As pianists advance, we look for broken chords, a line note to a line note to a line note, or a space note to a space note to a space note. When you find them, use your pencil to draw a hot dog circle around those. This way, instead of seeing many separate random notes on the page, pianists can easily recognize the group as one easy chord or triad played separately. This is crucial. It's the difference between learning a piece the hard way or the easy way. For example, introducing Joseph Papa Haydn. He was an older friend to Mozart and a teacher to Mozart and Beethoven. His piece is full of skips and a surprise chord. More on that later. Haydn's A part is full of 3 and 4 note skips. Think of them as skips or C chords or G7 chords instead of just random notes. One of my favorite intermediate broken chord pieces is Solfeggietta by Bach. Its 35 measures are impressive. But when you look at it closely, it's just full of chords and scales, not hundreds of random notes. Much easier. My entire analysis is for another video. So, no matter what your level, always search for patterns of intervals and draw a hot dog shaped oval around all your chord triads. Always ask, why is this helpful to learn this? How does this tie all together? Later, when you get deeper into theory analysis, you will notice some other notes in that measure are going to match that chord group, making it easier to learn. A very wise professor once told me, always do your SketchUp work away from your practice space. So when you get to your practice space, it's your fun place. Your prep work is done. So always find the intervals and chord patterns ahead of time so it makes your piece easier to understand and is less intimidating. Percussionists pay more attention to their grip on the sticks rather than individual fingers. Instrumentalists have to set their fingers up in their proper place. Regarding fingering, pianists have to know where they're starting from and where they need to go. Your finger number markings are going to be your street signs along the way. Your eyes have to be wide open for the fingering signs. Pianists, where do you place your fingers? There's a lot of territory on the keyboard. It depends upon the notes you need to play. Young beginners may see this middle C position and progress to this where most adults begin in C position. Either way, for all instruments, fingering marks are always placed outside the staff. Those are your street signs. That leaves room in the middle for words or dynamic markings, etc. You need to know where you are starting from, where you are going, and what area you are covering while taking the smoothest ride. Meaning, you need to know your lowest note and your highest note and figure out how you're going to get there. Pianists, are you going to spread your fingers out to reach beyond your 5-finger position or flip fingers to get there? Watch your signs. You, as the coach, have to pick one way to train your fingers. Otherwise, your fingers won't learn the best route. The importance of using correct fingering always reminds me of this image. If you've ever observed preschoolers playing soccer, as cute as they are, they all want to run as a group for the ball. Like us, they just want to jump in and play. They don't want assigned positions. But no one is preparing ahead to cover distance shots. So think of your fingers as 10 little kids or 10 soccer players. You are the coach that assigns them the exact position on the keys or the valves or strings to cover exactly where you need to go. Fingering can be a little more stationary for some that also hold up their instrument. Pianists don't have to hold up their instrument, but we do have a wide area to cover. So proper fingering is crucial to get us where we need to go. You don't want to get all twisted up. Correct positions of fingering will give you the smoothest ride. For example, most young beginners will sit up in middle C position, both thumbs squished on middle C. But here, the top number goes with the upper note, the bottom number goes with the lower note. So right hand, tall finger number 3 goes on E. Left hand, pinky number 5 goes on low C, and thumb goes on G. We call that C 5-finger position. You are in the position to someday play a C chord there with proper fingering. We won't always stay in that position. Intermediate players would look ahead to see the left-hand octave stretch is needed to get to where you want to go. If you have octaves, eighths, the rule is to stretch. Here, the left hand stretches A to A. Any notes after that? Cross over. Good music editors will write proper fingering in for you. Watch their street signs. Speaking of fingers, always check your body position. Pianists, be sure to curve your fingers so they all fit on the keys. Pianists, for clearest, strongest playing, fingers need to be curved at these angles. You will grip the keys perfectly. Long nails don't grip and they collapse your fingers. And you can end up with fingers laying across the cracks, as we say. Sure, you can play, but having long nails for playing is like wearing high heels for sports. It makes no sense. For clarinet, fingers are more flat to cover the tone holes. Every instrument is different. What about yours? Correct fingering and finger position really is that important. A joyride. It takes you where you want to go in the easiest and strongest way possible. Well done. You feel good with the basics, rhythm and staff note reading, and can sketch the form, identify intervals, find broken chords and signs for fingering. Now, before you start to play, you have some helpers sketched into your music. We want to let you in on a little secret. It's golden. It started with an observation I've noticed over the years while working with students. It's been proven to really help. We will start with that trick of the trade next in part 3 of this series. In the meantime, celebrate and enjoy the feeling of satisfaction for your achievements. Be the one to bring more music into the world. There is great joy in practicing and being a musician.